On June 18, 1805, William Clark stood at this point in front of the Great Falls of the Missouri for the first time. He was struck by the beauty and power of the falls, but he soon had to move on his work. Since he was a corps surveyor, the task fell to him to determine the actual height of the falls. Reports like pretty high or high as a big tree would not satisfy Jefferson or the scientists back east. He had to get an accurate measurement of height. You can see that he could not get to the actual falls to measure their heights due to the power and ferocity of the falls. So his challenge was to find another method to measure the falls. He found a way, and in his journal he reported that with ease measured the height of the perpendicular fall of 47 feet 8 inches. Modern measurements show that his estimate was within 1 foot of the actual height of the falls. How did he do this? Figure out a method using only the tools Clark had to measure the height of the falls without being right at the face of the falls. Clark moved away from the falls by a known distance, probably about 200 feet. He then needed to measure an angle. He may have used a sextant for this, but we can get a similar result more simply. From this known distance, he can hold out his arm towards the top of the falls with a stick in his hand. He can visually align the top of the stick with the top of the falls. Then he can move his hand on down the stick until the top of his hand is visually aligned with the bottom of the falls. He marks this point on the stick. Now he can move off to an open field that allows for easier measurement. He can pick a small tree or reference point and then move the same distance away from it than he was away from the falls, in this case 200 feet. Then he rotates his wrist 90 degrees for easier measurement, moving the stick into a horizontal position, leaving the tree aligned visually with the mark on the stick. He can then ask someone to walk away from the tree, perpendicular with the line from Clark to the tree, until they are visually aligned with the end of the stick. Measure the distance between the person and the tree, and they will have the height of the falls. Try this yourself. Determine the height of your school or a tree in your neighborhood.